Too late, GJ. It's already recording.
Oh no.
Um,
It's all
it's fine.
good.
We can always cut parts of it. But yeah, welcome
Let's
to
make it natural.
Revitate. Make it natural. How's the intros? Like, what should the intro be?
We should we should we should clap. I don't know. I don't know.
Clap.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, welcome to Remitate Live, another episode. And
Woohoo.
we are in our fancy house right now, and I'm with some random guy here. So we have we have the same last name, but he's my brother GJ. So Hazel and I, Hazel's here with me as well. Again, very happy that she's joining the stream again.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I love your place. I love the piano, and it's a really nice couch
I
in
know,
the
man.
background
Same with
there.
you, man. Same with
I,
you. I don't
Thank you
know.
very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Same with Hazel's place. My
Uh,
God.
There's an electric place there too. That's a nice
oh, became
piano
my
as well.
place. Oh, yeah. Okay,
Fireplace.
that's my hobby.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, so what's the topic, guys? What's the topic?
No, we actually, I kind of want to talk about um goals
Housing.
and stuff.
Um,
Housing. Let's talk about housing, guys. Let's talk about housing. Can I complain to housing?
yeah,
This whole
it's
episode will
ice
just be me
breaking.
complaining.
Okay, let's sit
Housing
in this amazing house and then talk about
Oh,
housing.
in Vancouver
guys, this is
compared
my
to
imaginary
Toronto.
house.
How much is this? Gosh. But I'm sharing this place with 10 people.
Oh wow,
Oh
you
my
got
God.
any international students there? I'm just kidding.
It's like
That's my room. Anyway, forget about it. Okay.
No, no. No, let's not complain about housing. Not today.
Mhm.
We'll
not
save
today.
that for
Maybe
another
maybe
time.
later, you know.
No, I wanted to talk about. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, guys. Those of you that don't know me, I also live in um in Vancouver, BC, um, and yeah, I work remote. I work remotely. I guess yeah, I shouldn't probably introduce myself. I work remotely in as a fraud analyst at Simple, and yeah, I've been doing that fairly recently. And we were kind of just talking to Hazel about my recent promotion,
Mhm.
and I want to talk about like imposter syndrome. Ray, I don't know if you know
What
what
is?
that means.
I don't know what that means.
So imposter syndrome basically is like so just to give you a bit more context, they're hiring again for my role, similar like for the role that I have right now. And I was kind of stalking the people online on LinkedIn because people are commenting on a job posting, right? And the people that I saw applying for the role was like these like MBA, like I have 10 years experience in as a financial analyst type of like role, like I have a master's degree and all this jazz, and they're all applying for the same role as I do. And for the viewers out there, I don't have that kind of like educational level, right? I don't have like an MBA or anything like that. I started off in Wild Simple as like a CXA, which is like a client experience advisor, which is basically just helping out clients over the phone, like call center. And yeah, like imposter syndrome is based just to get around that. Imposter syndrome is basically like, someone who doesn't feel like I just felt like I don't deserve what I have, and I don't deserve like the kind of role that I have because of the people that are applying and stuff like that. And I just felt like I'm being a fraud, like I'm being like not someone that is deserving of a role like a fraud analyst. So that's basically like what I've been dealing with in a nutshell with the role, and for the viewers as well. Like I'm fairly new at the role, so yeah, that's
I
that's
have a
kind of like my
question.
current. Yeah, go for it.
Do you feel that you're contributing properly to the team or no?
That's a good question. I think so. I think I'm fairly confident in what I do in the role. Um, but yeah, I think it's more of like I was like psyching myself out
Hmm.
when it comes to when it comes to the role and stuff like that. And I was talking to Hazel as well because I was talking to her about the importance of like networking, right?
Mm.
Yes.
So to go to to just to pass it to Hazel, just to pass the mic to Hazel,
Hmm.
Hazel, like how would you say, like how much would you say networking has positively or negatively impacted your business right now? Because I'm not sure if the viewers know, but did you already talk about your
My Korean
uh
lessons?
Korean lessons?
Not here, no.
Okay.
Mm, Networking.
How did you found your students?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to line my Korean lessons to networking because I didn't even like try to like network for my business, but
How did you get
I
started then?
I just posted my profile on the platform that was just like any languages learning online platform, and and that's been like 4 years. And then like I think when people search Hazel Choi, I think Hazel Choi teacher, I don't know, like if you search my name on Google, you can see like Hazel Choi Korean lesson. So like I became like people can see my image as a Korean tutor, and then people can find me through that. So yeah, like I'm wearing that suit for a while. I think that's important. Also, like I can line that maybe to networking. So if you keep talking to people related to the field, or if you're telling people that you're gonna get that kind of job or you're gonna get into that field, maybe people can see you as like that person, or you're already in that field, so people can find you easily when they're looking for someone who's working in that field. So like in sort of way, yeah, that's important.
So in
Yeah.
terms of like because you're a Korean teacher, right? And you post. So how does this work? So you post yourself as a freelancer to one of these Korean language teaching websites.
Yeah, so the website is basically helping me to find someone who wants to learn Korean language.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's the same as online platform, like searching
Mm.
like Korean, and then maybe they can put their location. Then if I'm in Vancouver, people in Vancouver can, find me as a tutor, and they can pay through the website, and I can get paid, like something like that. But I don't do that anymore.
Oh, so how's your experience since then? Because I'm curious, like the students you mentioned to me in the past, a lot of the students you've talked to are your friends now, right? Some of them are your close friends. You've been friends with them for years, right?
Mm.
I'm very curious how that turned out because not a lot of people make friends that left and right that way, right? So you seem pretty lucky on that end.
Right. Because I think I'm going to casual because I don't have any proper degree for Korean teaching. So that's why
Mm.
I had to be like friendly first more than professional, because that's my strength more than professionally teaching Korean language. And the key point was I didn't know how to get Korean textbook like materials. So
Mm.
what I did is making my own material because I do speak my language. So I happen to use, like if I'm teaching you, Rainulf, like I know your background, like I know like for example, like I want to use your story, like I'm gonna make example sentences like Rainulf and Rainulf's dad is going to shopping. Like I'm gonna use your personal stories into my Korean
Mm.
textbook material, and that became like really personal. So it sound like customized Korean lessons, sort of. because I make like materials for one by one for like each student. And then that helped me to get to know students better because I'm talking a lot more than just teaching Korean lesson a lot. So even like after 1 hour lesson, we just stay in this Zoom call talking about random stuff for like 30 minutes. But I don't want them to pay you or they want to pay. Like it's just sort of, yeah, it goes just too casual and they became friends. So even though they have some situations that need to stop learning Korean, they still, you know, like texting me, like we are still friends. Like, yeah.
I think it's fascinating because isn't that the same thing as GJ said? It's kind of like networking. You're kind of building friendship and rapport with a person right now. Not only you're enjoying it on a personal level, you're also kind of like learning, right? That's the best way to learn and also make connections. I'm curious, like these students, have you made like, did they recommended you to other students? Because that's usually maybe what happens, right?
Right. Um, like once that happened, but like because okay, so if you meet really random people, then you can get to know like really different areas. So like I have like doctor student, I have UX UI designer student, or I have accountant student. So I can kind of like use them or ask some specific knowledge to them because they have some professions.
Hmm.
So that's kind of networking. So like even like my tax refund this year, I asked to my student because he's accountant. Or when I was preparing my UX UI portfolio, I had UX designer students, so I asked advice from her. So if that counts, like networking, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of like, because GJ mentioned about imposter syndrome, because you mentioned that you're not. Uh, you, did you ever felt similar as GJ? Because there might be some better teachers than you, right? You mentioned to me in the past that why should they pick Hazel when there's a bunch of other options? Like why Hazel, right? Like how
Yeah.
did you felt any sort of imposter syndrome?
Of course, I felt the same.
Mm.
And I think the biggest one was my language because I did speak Korean, but I didn't speak English. And people expected me to explain like everything in English, but which I couldn't. So even in the class, I was like mumbling like this is this is this is, but I didn't have a word. So like students had to guess apple, banana, like so like it was almost like my English lesson more than my like my lesson, you know. But he's paying or she's paying. So in in that case, yeah, I felt huge, yeah,
And
sadness,
yeah, GJ.
Sadness. That's
sadness.
funny. No, sorry, that's not funny. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from there. I wanted to start just to switch things, just to switch things off as well. I actually wanted to talk about taking risks as well,
Mm,
right? So my fiance's brother kind of came up to me and just wanted, well, it's unsolicited advice. So I was kind of giving him advice about what because he's got a bit lost. He's in his early 20s, right? So I think we're all lost at one point in our early 20s, right? So I kind of just, one of my biggest advice for him, because one of my biggest mistakes when in my early 20s was not taking risks, right?
mm,
And for example, right, going to boot camp, like coding boot
Hmm.
camp, of course, like I wasn't able to fully use, like, being a web developer, a software developer. However, I was able to leverage like certain aspects of it, like, you know I was able to meet really good friends, first of all, in who are I'm still friends now from that boot camp. And I'm also, you know, I- I've also learned SQL within that boot camp, which is somewhat relevant to what I want to do now within
Mm,
Simple. So I want to ask, um, Ray, about um, risks and the importance of risks to you, and how do you weigh doing too much risky things versus being too safe, being too cautious, where you're not moving forward anymore? How do you balance the two?
It's when I started Remitate, it's like I have the same kind of like values of balance. You have to balance things out, right? You cannot go YOLO all in and destroy your life if it doesn't turn out well. Like there's a saying, "Don't fight the last war," right? Um, you always want to you always want to have an out and give up if it doesn't turn out well. And that at some point there has to be um, uh, you kind of just have to balance things out. To be honest, it's very subjective. Very you cannot really. Everyone has their own risk tolerance, right? So I cannot really um, tell to people what kind of risk that they're willing to take, because everyone has their risk tolerance. But I always want to like strive for somewhere in between balance, right? So not too much that you're destroying your life, but at the same time, um, not too conservative where you're losing your dreams of what you want to do, right? So that's why Remitate, 50% of Remitate is services, right? We have to make money, we have to survive, right? But the other 50% is we make our own shit, we build our own products, right? And that's where we take a risk. So the very base layer of Remitate is surrounding that strive for the balance, strive for the neutrality, and don't forget what makes it fun for you, right? So for me, I code some fun stuff. We just introduced Bitcoin, right? I mean, I think that's fun. It's it looks amusing because everyone's like going all YOLO, but there's something fun about it. But at the same time, there's some reality about it that you can connect that always back to inflation, the real life situation. So I try to identify how I can connect these two and try to like integrate. There's it's I forgot the term, I forgot the exact term for it, but strive to be an integrated human being, right? So what that means is you have you have the adult side and you have your kid side. You want to integrate the two into one being, right? um, so that's what I'm striving for. That's like what I'm uh, uh, trying to kind of like one of my guiding principles when taking a risk, is that you can take a risk, but is it going to destroy my life? And if it destroys my life, then maybe that's not the risk that I'm going to take. So maybe not too much, somewhere in the middle, 50%, 50% this, 50% that. So yeah, that's how I tackle it.
That's good. That's good. I think, yeah. Like speaking of like balance, I think it's very important to kind of have that balance when it comes to like starting a company, like what you've initiated, right? Um, Now I want to ask Hazel as well. Was there any sort of like, so how did you decide that, oh, I'm gonna be a Korean teacher? Like, was there a moment where you're like, huh, I think this would be a good avenue for me to take when it comes to getting more money? How did you, what was that path like for you?
mm, okay, that's a good question. I want to give you a better answer, but I didn't expect that my Korean lessons go this well because the only reason why I started was I wanted to make more friends, like local friends. It sounds weird, but as a foreign person, it's kind of hard to meet local people, even though I moved to the different country. Because like working place, even like roommates, because like they're like international students or they're same as me. So that was the only reason. That's why I didn't charge much. I think I get paid like $10 per hour or something. So yeah, that was my start.
Really? You
Damn.
Yeah.
started off getting paid $10 an hour?
Yeah, I didn't even like ask them like a huge money. And then I like
Damn.
slightly, yeah, ask a little bit more and a little bit more.
Then you're like, oh man, guys, I'm getting underpaid here. I gotta I gotta charge you guys more. You guys are taking advantage of my kindness here.
Yeah, I tried a little bit. Oh, it
No.
worked. A little bit. Oh, yeah, it worked. That's how
Then
I
you're
learned.
like, guys, I'm gonna start charging you guys $70 an hour. Is that okay?
Okay, oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, that's
I
fine.
mean,
Oh, okay. Can we do 80?
I
80? Any takers? 80?
maybe I hope I can do that. But yeah, but
But it
I
started
have
off as looking for friends, basically.
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. And
That's
actually, I
interesting.
wanted to ask this to you guys because like taking a risk, GJ said it like you need to take a risk like when you like it's good to try some risks, like some adventure or challenges. But like looking back, I think I didn't even like feel scared to try new things or taking a risk. And I think I'm like still young, but I'm a bit scared of like maybe I can be changed when I'm like as I'm getting old. Maybe I'm gonna be scared of taking a risk. So I want to ask you guys like compared to like past yourself, do you think that you feel more scared to take a risk or you are getting like more like more brave to take a risk compared to before?
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that first. I think when I was younger, I didn't want to take any risk. Like
Oh,
I worked. Man, I'm. This is so cringe, but I worked at
okay.
McDonald's for like four years of my life. You know, and I think I stayed there.
I'm sorry.
Okay, don't laugh
Sorry.
at me. Like,
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you.
it's okay.
Okay.
But I worked at
Mm.
McDonald's for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. And I think the reason why I did that was because I was scared to take a risk, to go back to school, to
Oh.
talk to other people, to take new jobs, or like to go to just to network, just to talk to people in general. Right. But as I got older, I started um taking more calculated risks, not like full on gambling my life away, but more so in terms of like risk, in terms of like talking to people more, improving my social skills. um you know uh if honestly, if I didn't have the confidence that I have now, I think I wouldn't have applied for the role that I have right now. And maybe I wouldn't have even gotten this role to begin with. Just but
Mm.
I would have just been stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's what I mean by taking risks. I think when I say take risk, I think what that means is just go out there and try something. You might not hit what you really want to hit. Like for example, if you're like, I I did, like I said, I took a boot camp. A coding boot camp. It didn't pan out, but I made really good friends that I'm still friends with today. And you know, and it linked to what I want to do now. So it might not be what you think it might end up as, but you might get close to something that you might actually want in the future.
Mm.
So that's what I think. So yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
It's interesting. I have exact same situation as GJ. I think I mentioned it previously with you, Hazel. My last 5 years, my previous jobs, last 5 years, I feel like I wasted my life there. To be honest, I wasted them. And time is really valuable. You cannot afford to waste them. And there's a saying, comfort is a mind killer, right? Because it's very comfortable having a stable income, right? You have stable income, you have a stable job, you just keep getting the checks, right? And then you can just save these checks, put it into investment, and then at some point you're just gonna retire, right? It's very comfortable,
Mm.
and I think that's really dangerous because you don't at some point you just don't want to take a risk, right? So my situation, fortunately, is quite the opposite. So before I was very conservative, same as GJ, but now I am taking a risk, as with this business. But it's calculated risk, right? It's not, don't fight the last war just because you're taking a risk doesn't mean you go YOLO all in, right? So I'm trying to find like a hack, kind of where I want to be in a situation, perpetual cycle where I can take a risk and fail, but I want to be have the capability to try it again, try something new again, because I'm trying to find that hack. And with Remitate, so we have the services side of Remitate, and then the product side is the risk. So I want to find that cycle. um
Mm.
but yeah, for me, getting back to that, it seems that the opposite is happening for me. It seems that I'm taking more risk. Before I was conservative, now trying out these new things, and as Gigi said, just try them out, try something new. And if it doesn't turn out well, then you can always try something different, right? um, but if you failed at something, you just need to learn from it. It's gonna hurt, that's why it's called failure, because if it doesn't hurt, then then it's not failure. So learn from the failure, but make sure that you don't get destroyed where you don't have the luxury to try something new. So that's my take on that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Here's a question for both of you guys actually.
Hmm.
How do you guys feel about like because we were all supposed to meet up today, and obviously Hazel's like a bit tired, and because she's been working a lot, right?
Yeah.
And my question for you guys is, what do you guys think about like hustle culture? But hustle culture, what I mean by that is like overworking yourself and like
Mm.
basically like not leaving, like I gotta go, I gotta do everything I can to improve my business, to get as much clients as possible, to do this, to do that, but then you don't leave anything for yourself or your friends or your family or your loved ones. I think from my personal view, my personal take on it is I don't like it. I would like, honestly, if the role that I have right now means that I don't like I can't spend more time with my partner, or like I can't go on like trips anymore, I probably would not have taken it, to be honest. Because I value more, like, speaking of time, you know, you also have to value like your friends, like your family, like, we have a finite amount of time that we have, right?
Yes.
So let's go with Ray first. How do you feel about like the hustle culture? Because I know you're kind of in that mindset, right?
Yeah, I am. Right now we need to look for freaking contracts, otherwise we're gonna bankrupt, right? Um, but for me, I'm lucky because I know what I want to do when I wake up, right? Um, I have I have life purpose. I have goal, right? I have when I wake up, I know exactly why I'm doing this. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it's just a tool. Remitate is just a tool to my goals, right? So, for me, I just want to explore new unknown territories, new unknown things. And in order to do that, I need money, I need freedom, right? And Remitate is my ticket to that, right? That's why whenever I'm doing this hustle culture, sure, I'm losing time, but that's something I'm willing to sacrifice because I'm working towards my life purpose, right? I'm working towards what really drives me when I wake up in the morning. That I have to do this, but and I don't feel bad about it, to be honest. Like, sure, I'll get tired, and that's normal. I mean, your body gets tired with all the stress, right, piling up. So that's why you have to again balance it out with you have to rest at some point. You don't take the last war, right? Take a rest and recharge. But again, I have that northern star, right? I have that guiding post that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I know exactly why. It's because I have this goal. I want to travel. I want to explore new unknown things. I want freedom. I don't want to be chained by a company. I don't want to do the same thing I've been doing last 10 years, which is working under a company which is so comfortable and so easy and perfect, and my life is just so perfect. But if I look at it long term, that's a trap. I'm going to be end up wasting. I don't want to do this what I've been doing last 10 years, right? So that's my take on that. That's why I'm lucky. Not a lot of people know what they want to do in life, right? That's why I want to like suggest to people, like, find your life's purpose and what drives you, like, in the morning, and then do these things, go through suffering, um, and all. You need a mission, right? You need a mission in life. You can't just be wake up just because you have to. Um, so yeah, that's my take on that.
Hmm. Okay. That's a really difficult question for me because hustle culture. Because I haven't really experienced like a working like full-time work and the culture from like companies because I just started like social life and working at the office. So because I am a person who only do whatever I want to do. So if I experience something and if I don't like it, I quit right away and my decisions go really fast. So even when I came to Vancouver, I tried many things, like many different workplaces. If I didn't like it, I quit it right away. Even like when I
Wow.
felt something, I just go to the boss. I'm quitting. I'm sorry. I just like I'm really
What?
fast. So right now at the moment, my situation is a bit difficult to me because I try to think what I actually like really want to do, and if I were not busy, what I want to do, and then I'm trying to take every single thing that I want to do right now at the moment. But the fact is that I have a full-time job. Maybe that's why I'm getting busy because I am too greedy with things I want to experience right now at the moment. So I can't give up any single thing. So I have a full-time job here. It's so heavy and I'm taking everything. So, but these are so fun. Like I'm having so much fun. So compared to this, even like Korean lessons, so fun. So compared to this time and my time spending like with my friends, sometimes like Korean lessons are fun than hanging out with my friends. So I can't really answer the question because I don't know what I'm like enjoying, like what is enjoyable to me. I'm
Hmm.
still thinking about it.
Yeah, that no, that's a good point as well. No, that's good.
Mm,
That's a good answer. I don't think there's any wrong answers when it comes to that sort of thing. Everyone has
mm,
their own opinions on it, and you know, I think as long as you're not like burning yourself out, right? I
Right.
think
That's the thing. That's
it's all about
it's big,
balance. It's all about
right?
balance. You know,
Yeah.
there can be such thing as too much. I think toxic hustle culture for me is when you're like literally have no time for any social thing, like your friends, family, nothing, and you're just like
Mm.
It's
dedicating
not
your
good.
entire being to the so there's like one thing. You know what I mean? I think that's
Yeah.
toxic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
It can be. It's because you're losing time and you're not being again you're not doing something makes you makes you awake in the morning, right? And be uh, be motivated to do certain things, right? It's just like at some point you just become a zombie, right? That you know.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mm.
I think
But
yeah. Go ahead.
go for it. Go.
I don't know. It's okay.
But I'm curious, like so in terms of like toxic like hustle culture, because some companies they have to hustle and work it out, right? Did you have you like heard any like similar situations amongst your group of friends, like that people seems to be so into this that it feels like it's dangerous?
Hmm. Not not within my group of friends. I think I try to surround myself with friends that I have a very small, tight knit group of friends. I
Mm.
honestly I only consider like maybe I only have like 4 friends, to be honest,
Hmm.
that I consider my real friends. And these are
Yeah,
like diehard, like these guys will take a bullet for me kind of friends.
yeah.
So not literally, you know what I mean? I don't think not literally. But if I think if I was in a bad situation, I think these friends would obviously take me in and help me out. But yeah, none of my friends have that kind of mentality. But I do have some friends that took, I think, very bad financial risks.
Oh yeah.
Like circling back to our previous point of like
Mm.
taking risks, I think they made a bad financial risk. So as one of my friends,
Okay.
I hope they don't watch this. I hope this doesn't go viral. You know, but one of my friends, oh, guys, if I ever go viral, I want my face to be blurred out. I don't want to go viral. No, anyways, I have this friend, right?
Mm.
And they bought like a $1.2 million house. I think I talked about this with Ray before.
Yeah.
I mean, they bought like a $1.2 million house. They're not ultra wealthy, but they did have a sizable down payment. But still, they have a kid on the way, and I think that's just a like. Please don't go viral, but I just think that's a horrible financial move. I think that's horrible
Mm.
because you know I think the housing prices obviously like they go up eventually,
Yeah.
but if you have a kid, if you have a huge mortgage, I think you got to be careful with how you're dropping that much money in one go, right? So yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going off topic here, but
What's there? But no, that's
uh,
a fair one because you get to you choose the certain amount of people, right? That you don't want to be part of your life, and these people are cool and these people are not cool, right? And this friend might be valuable to you. That's why even though he made a bad decision, that maybe there's still some value that you see in this person. So but I have a question, like how do you value people and friends? Like, how do you decide that you want to be friends with this person? And, like, how do you vibe with them
whoa,
is what I'm saying.
that's a good question. That's a really good question. I Man, I talk about this with Hazel as well.
Mm.
Like I just thought, and a lot of people too. I just For me, it's all about vibes, man. Like
Yeah.
it's all about vibes. Like if I vibe with you, I would hang out with you, all the time. And I guess from hanging out, we would just build that friendship. And like it's like a point system. It's like your friendship level increases.
System.
The Buddha hub.
It's just Buja
Yeah,
Hub, shameless plug. You know what I mean? Shameless plug.
Yeah.
yeah,
Buja Hub. No, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a point system where, like, if I vibe with someone, if I like and like I would just hang out with them more, and then I have some friends in Toronto who I'm gonna visit as well that I haven't seen or talked to in like months. But when you see them, you're just like, hey, what's going on? Like
yes,
it's kind of like you just haven't seen each other like yesterday, right? So I value friends. Like I guess I pick my friends based on like vibes and who I click more. Like if I click with someone, and I would hang out with you more, and I would just like build off of that friendship. I think earlier on in my like like my life, I was like I kind of had this need to like befriend everyone, but I realized that, hey, I don't have to like everyone. Like, if you're a bit of a dick, like I'm not gonna be friends with you. You know
yes,
what I mean?
yes.
So you don't have to be friends with everyone, right? So yeah, I think, yeah, I
I,
just go off vibes.
Yeah, so let's try to quantify it a bit because a bit it's subjective, right?
Yeah,
So vibe, like let's try to break it down. What do you mean by vibe? Like, is it
yeah,
the way? So is it their personality, the way they interact with other people, or you don't want like assholes that being a scumbag, etc., or is it more of a like what vibe is it? Let's break that down.
yeah. There's a way, like sarcasm. Like if you get sarcasm, we're gonna be best friends. It's all good. We're gonna
Mhm,
be good friends. Because I'm sarcastic all the time.
mhm,
And I think like another like if you get sarcasm, I think that's a good point. I think also here's a good way to tell if you can be good friends with someone. If you can sit in a room and you just be totally quiet and it doesn't feel awkward, I think that's a good sign that that's a good friend. Because if you can
mhm,
sit down with someone and it's completely quiet, right? No one's talking, no one's doing anything, like they're just walking and you
mhm,
don't feel awkward,
mhm.
that's a really good sign that like you guys are gonna be good friends.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
you know, I think when it came to when me and Hazel like hung out when we went to that what do you call that
The
that
the cafe.
that we went to like a cafe before. you know I was like, yo, me and Hazel actually vibe. You know what I mean? Because we were like hanging out for a long time, man. It was a good time.
You know.
And you know I think that kind of thing, like you would just have a conversation with someone, and if you're able to get sarcasm and not have it be awkward, and even if it is awkward as well, like I have some friends that they're just super awkward, but like the awkwardness has a sort of, it's hard to explain, but I have a friend, like really good friend of mine, that's in Toronto right now, and she's just a very awkward person, but then it's just there's a very like, it's hard to describe. Is awkward, but it's also not awkward at the
I know
same
what you mean.
time.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. What about you, Hazel? What do you think about what do you how do you choose your friends? Like
Mm.
who you choose to hang out with and stuff like that?
I think I do just exactly same thing as you do, and but this is weird because like I think friendship also like just like go on and off depends on which era you are in right now. So like there are like one or two friends just definitely your best friend that even though you guys don't talk each other for 6 months and then somehow pops up, but it's goes so natural. Of course, like I think people have those friends, but just overall the friendships go like maybe I'm studying this, and then somehow that person happened to study the same thing, so we can talk about it. And then we became like a best friend for at the moment, like for this 6 months. And some different things happen. So it's on and off. So I can't really say, but vibing is like obviously important. And I don't think I am a huge fan of too happy people. I think I'm not vibing with those people. I don't think that I trust that happiness much. So I'm just like, you're lying. I don't know,
Ooh.
Interesting.
like,
What? That's
and I
controversial.
Ooh.
Let's expand on
Whoa,
that.
whoa,
What
whoa.
do you
That's
mean by that?
controversial. Wow.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know how to react with that happiness. I just like, I don't know, my
Whoa.
opinion.
You think they're fake? You think it's fake?
Um, I think the tone of how
Mm.
we see things are too different. Like my expression for that is, I think it's an acting field term, but the
What's the term?
term is like the part you breathe is too high, like here. But I prefer people breathing like deep down, so that goes more true. I'll stop this. But anyway, so yeah.
Gotcha. So Hazel doesn't like happy people. Got it. We'll make that our we'll put that as the title
No.
of the
Jeez.
what do you think? What do you think, Ray? What do you think? Do you, do you think do you think people that are too happy often fake it? You know what I mean? I'm actually curious what Ray thinks. Is that I actually agree with you, Hazel. I actually agree with you. I actually,
Really?
dude, I hate people that are like super happy-go-lucky and like I just recently reactivated my Instagram, and then I really hated people. This is why I deactivated because I hated people that are just posting happy shit, and I'm like, bro, you're obviously miserable. You just talked to me last week. Fuck out of here with that shit. You know what I
Oh.
mean? Ray, what do you think, man?
I am I am I somewhat agree with you, but I also see the other side of why they're trying to be optimistic, right? Because they're trying to compensate, right? Because it's kind of like a mask, how I see it, right? Sure, it's fake, but the reason why they're putting that up is because you know that they're not happy about their life. So I'm just looking at it from that perspective that the reason why they're happy is because they're trying to mask themselves and trying to compensate on that one, which I can understand, right? People want to get away from that kind of situation, so they're trying to um, force themselves to be happy, but it's kind of like a mask thing, right? In my opinion, I don't know people, but that's the way I see it. But I do agree that this is too fake. Like this is not something that I would entertain. But at the same time, I'm just like playing along. If I meet those, whenever I meet those people, I just play along and try
Mm,
to look at it from from their perspective. It's kind of like yeah, they're trying to compensate about something, right? And they're trying to over exaggerate it, right? And I just play along with it because I want to get along with everyone. Maybe just because I'm trying to be business person, I need to get along with everyone, right?
yeah.
um, so I need
You're
to
just not
vibe
trying to
with
rock
the
the boat.
same
You just don't want to
energy.
rock the boat.
Yeah, I mean, you can rock the boat and be controversial, and probably that's one way to be truly friend with that person, right? Because if you want to be truly friends with someone, you want to take off the mask. Like, what's your face? How do you look like really behind that mask, right? That's when you start rocking the boat. If you truly want to be friends with this person, start getting them mad. you know.
That's a good way as well to kind of like weed out people that you actually want in your life, in my opinion. Because when you start rocking that kind of a boat, obviously not like pushing them into a corner, but if
Mm,
when you don't push people into a corner, I think that's wrong. But if you're kind of asking about it, and it's kind of like, oh, um you know and it's like they don't want to answer, they just feel uncomfortable about it. I think when they start feeling uncomfortable about it, it's kind of like one of those things where I don't think that's someone that I would want in my friend group, in my circle. But you know what I hate the most? Speaking, I'm
Hmm.
just gonna go on a little rant,
Go
guys.
for it.
You know what I
Go
hate the
for it.
most? I hate it when couples post things online and then and like they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so this. I'm so that." But then and then I already know in the background, some guy like this dude is like doing something in the like you know what I mean. So they're not really that happy. This is why like I think that mask I hate. I just hate fakeness. I
Yes,
hate it.
I understand you.
If I'm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not happy, I'm not gonna talk to you.
yeah.
I don't want to be bothered.
Right.
That's the thing with
Uh,
these social media, right? Because they exaggerate these things, right?
yeah,
Because social media is marketing, right? It's marketing of one's life, right? So whenever you post something on social media, you want to be on your best, right? It's like me. The reason why I'm wearing something nice today is because I want to look at my best, right? It's kind of like that with social media, but it's a bit more exaggerated because people want to often perceive as someone positive, like they want to advertise themselves as someone positive, right? Someone happy, someone that's like, someone has the best in life. And then I've seen also the opposite side, if you believe it or not. They try to exaggerate the negativeness of their life. So I forgot this YouTuber's name, but this guy, he would just post something so dramatic, and he would just do some stupid things just to get views on YouTube, just to get attention. And there's also the opposite side of things, that even though they're not truly negative and unhappy about it, they're trying to self-sabotage themselves. So that's a danger with social media, and that's why I kind of understand you, why I don't want to be part of it. But for me, I have to, because of with Fetish, I have to kind of like be active on social media. But that's the danger, right? Because you have these extremes where people just go crazy about it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I just reactivated my Instagram again, and then I added both you guys. I
Yeah,
added both you guys,
I
and
think again, like balance, right? Like there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with the tool. Like this is just a tool, but you have to balance it out. That's my like value virtue right now, guiding poses. There's nothing wrong with Instagram and social media, because it is an avenue for everyone to promote themselves, right? Like it's your brand, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that there has to be a boundary between getting too much. You have to know yourself, like don't be too fake, etc. And it's really great way to like connect with people, how you're doing, right? Look at your stories, and see what everyone's up to. um, but again, like the thing with Instagram is that they feed on these negativity, right? And these too much too extreme sides, because it's part of the algorithm. You have to make it engaging. That's why people use Instagram, is because they're trying to promote this engaging content. So you just need to know what you're dealing with, basically. Yeah.
yeah, I
Mm.
agree.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
think I think um I think we talked a
Should
lot
probably
about
wrap up.
good. Yeah, I think we should wrap up. I think we talked a lot about a lot of good
Yeah.
points out there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that
But
was
yeah,
cool. That was a good
yeah,
time.
it's great. I'm very happy, Gigi, that you're like part of this, because like Hazel and I've been doing these things, and there's so many ideas that like just pops into my head whenever
Mhm.
I have these sessions with Hazel, especially the office thing and meeting in
Hmm.
person. Actually, it came from this sessions. Like we just foster so many ideas, and I love exchanging ideas with people like this setting, and then we get this recording, and we get to um, post it online. But yeah, I'm very happy that you join us. Hopefully, you'll join us more in the future.
For sure. Thank you
Um,
for
and
having me. I love it.
and yeah, and then we'll talk more interesting topics. So, by the way, guys, a bit too late, but GJ is my brother. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. GJ is
Oh, you
my
mentioned it.
brother.
Yeah, you
He
did.
works,
You mentioned it.
but he works at Remitate right now, and And yeah, we'll have more of him in the future. Hopefully, more people and and get to talk about controversial stuff because GJ, that seems to be what GJ enjoys the most.
Guys,
Uh,
that's what I'm all about. You know,
yes, bro.
hot takes, hot takes.
Hot
We're
takes
not trying to
here
get
and there.
canceled. We're not trying to get canceled. Okay, we
Hey,
don't want to get canceled.
if we get canceled, that means we're doing something right.
Hey, what did I say about rocking the boat? You don't want to rock the boat too much, man. You
Too
don't want to
much.
rock the
I
boat
know.
too much.
I know.
Anyways,
We can't have that. That's it.
guys, it was
Okay.
good talking to everyone. Thank you
Thank you
again for
so
having
much.
me, guys. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
See ya. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.